Te Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagata Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalaam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Anvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे think we will read from verse 30 to 35 once again, and we will cover something that I promised we will discuss. Hmm. Okay, so this is coming from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 7, Chapter 11, mm, and then verse number 30. Vritti Sankara Jatinam Tattat Kula Krita Bhavet Achauranam Aparanam Antya Jaten Asayinam. So this particular verse is something I thought, okay, we should maybe try to understand a little more about what is this Antya Vasai. Translation goes, among the mixed classes known as Shankara, those who are not thieves are known as Antya Vasaya or Chandalas, dog eaters, and they also have their hereditary customs. Think we didn't cover this, so let's cover this and understand a bit. And yeah, the four principal divisions of society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, have been defined, and now there is a description of Antyaja. So until verse number 29, there is the description about the four um, divisions, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. And then in the context later, there is also description about who is the chaste woman. And then after that comes Antya. Antya means remaining. And this is mixed. Among the mixed classes, there are two divisions, Pratilomaja and Anulomaja. If a woman of high class marries a man of a lower caste, their union is called pratilo or pratiloma. If a woman of a lower caste, however, marries a man of a higher caste, their union is called anulo or anuloma. The members of the such dynasties have their traditional duties as barbers, washermen, and so on. Among the Antyajas, those who are still somewhat pure in that they do not steal or not addicted to meat eating, drinking, illicit sex, and gambling are called Antyavasai. Antyavasai. Among people of lower classes, intermarriage and drinking of wine are allowed, for these people do not recognize such conduct as sinful among themselves. Okay. Can anyone recollect? Did we discuss at all? No, if I'm not wrong. Huh? So we didn't cover this. So here we are talking about few classes of men, and in this, yeah, let me see. Okay, also the next one. Then the next verse is saying Prayasva Bhava Prayasva Bhava Vihito Nunam Dharmo Yuge Yuge Veda Drigbhir Smrito Rajan Pretya Cheha Sa Sarmakrit. So, my dear King, Brahmanas, well conversant in Vedic knowledge, have given their verdict that in every age, the conduct of different sections of people according to their material modes of nature is auspicious both in this life and after death. Yeah, what does that mean? Again, we are discussing about that Brahmanas who are well versed in Vedas have said that in every yuga, the conduct of different sections of people, according to their material modes of nature, is auspicious both in this life and after death. So here we are talking still about those mixed class of people, mixed class in the sense um, that. Marrying a lower caste, upper caste, or higher, I don't know. Yeah, all these things. So, in the purport 31, there is mentioned Bhagavad Gita 3:35. It is said, Shreyan Swadharmo Vighuna Paradharma Swanushtithan. It is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though they may be faulty, than another's duties. Hmm? So, Krishna is saying that a Brahmana should do his prescribed duty as a Brahmana and Kshatriya and Vaishya and Shudra. Similarly, here we are talking Antyajas. The men of lower class are accustomed to stealing, drinking, and illicit sex, but that is not considered sinful. For example, if a tiger kills a man, this is not sinful, but if a man kills another man, that is considered sinful, and the killer is hanged. What is a daily affair among the animals is a sinful act in human society. Thus, according to the symptoms of higher and lower sections of society, there are different varieties of occupational duties according to their experts in Vedic knowledge. Huh? So these duties are prescribed in terms of the age. What here age means not the age like yeah, old. How old is one? Age in the sense as the generations change, different ages. Vrityasvabhava kritaya vartamana svakर्मकृत hitva svabhava jam karma sane nirguna tam iyat. If one acts in his profession according to his position in the modes of nature and gradually gives up these activities, he attains the Nishkama stage. So this means gradually, purport says, if one gradually gives up his hereditary customs and duties and tries to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his natural position, he is gradually able to become free from these activities and he attains the stage of Nishkama, freedom from material desires. So, this doesn't mean that if one is born as a Kshatriya, then settles or has to compromise and settle as a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra or even mixed. Even we are talking about Antyajas. Antyajas, they don't have to think, oh, we are born and we are like this. So, in fact, it is not just based on the birth one is deciding. Here it says, if one gradually gives up his hereditary definitely comes from higher, from above, right? From the family tree, tradition, etc. But still, if one naturally does not has the taste, it's not like, oh, as soon as I see a war or a battle, now I will not be a Kshatriya. No, that is not approved. Hmm. If one gradually gives up his hereditary customs and duties and tries to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so paradharma. When one takes up Sarva dharma parijyancha mamekam sharanam raja. When one is giving up everything and has developed such a great unflinching faith and surrender to the Lord, and want to serve the Lord in his natural position, he is gradually able to become free from these activities, and he attains the stage of nishkama, freedom from material desires. So one should not renounce his duties without becoming detached from these desires, and this is possible only when one serves the Lord. So then I think the last two verses, maybe we will cover. Then I think we were discussing about this example, right? When the ghee or the fire is overindulgence. I think this is what we covered last time. Yeah, and the drops of ghee fall in the fire, that only increases the fire. Rather, some experts say that by putting overindulgence, then one's cravings will be gone. That is a possibility which we discussed, and a chance and not a chance, all these things. During that flow, I somehow missed these important uh, few verses about Antyajas and what is. I think I told we will cover this Pratilom next week. So, when we are saying that among the mixed classes, no, the Sankara, those who are not thieves are known as Antye Vasai, and Antye Vasai or Chandalas, and they also have their hereditary, and so from there we can see that the world is definitely a place where all possibilities, whatever within the conditioning is there, that happens, and intermarriage is also one, and which means Lord definitely knew situations, and that's why there is Manusmriti that is telling how one should. Yeah, if the question is about a second marriage, there is description how it can be done, and if there is a marriage between intercaste, how it is done, and all these things are described. Um One may say, okay, all these things are there, but we have to understand this is considered as the four principal divisions, and after that comes this Antyajas. And among the mixed class, there are two divisions, which is Pratilomaja and Anulomaja. Pratiloma means if a woman of higher caste marries a man of a lower caste. Hmm. And where, yeah, in Manusmriti, if I can find it quickly, give me a second. Um, hmm, yes, I have it here. Just for some context, I will read through this, and maybe if it is too much, then we will also discuss after that. Mm. As per Manusmriti, the only way to salvation for women was marriage. Manu further notes that only women having auspicious marks and all these things are can be married. One can, I mean, this is I'm just reading verbatim from the Manusmriti. This leads to the unavoidable assumption that Manu did not want the marriage of disabled women or women with bodily defects to Hindu men. All these things one one could spin thought on the original version of Manusmriti and can pull out some interpretations. But my attempt here, while we are reading, is not on the conclusions, but to understand what did really Manu has postulated or shared this. In fact, Manu there goes on list of onto list different groups of women who are unable to be married. This involves women with epilepsy, women who are sapindas of the Hindu man on the side of his mother, or women who are related to him on the side of the family, on the side of his father. So those who experience certain unique diseases, women named after constellations, or when we are talking about if a woman name is after a constellation, or women who have names that evoke fear. Yeah, anyway, this is so further explained. And now, and according to Manu, a man should marry a woman with a graceful name, a modest amount of, yeah, all these things. Then further, Manu makes second marriages legal. Indeed, in second marriages, he is much more liberal than in first marriages in terms of caste criteria. He says that any man who wishes to take a second wife can marry a woman in his caste or a lower caste. This exposes the concept of what we had just discussed. I mean, I'm just correlating to Bhagavatam and to Manusmriti, and then there is a mention of Anuloma and uh, Pratiloma. Anuloma means a marriage between a higher caste man and a lower caste woman. A marriage of that kind is allowed, whereas Pratiloma implies a union between a higher caste woman and a more inferior caste man. It is not permitted. So this is what Shastra, Manusmriti is telling. Though that is on the condition any Brahman taking the Shudra wife as his second wife. Um, this means, in this case, one may think, oh, then this means Brahmanas can marry anyone, yeah? Because this is what it says. As per Pratiloma implies union between a higher caste woman and a lower caste man. No, but Anuloma is something which is allowed. But then for Brahmanas, that is not allowed. Though Anulom, a higher class man can marry a lower class woman, which is Anuloma. The higher class Brahmana is not supposed to marry, take taking the Shudra's wife as his second wife. Uh, then he goes to hell after death. If he breeds with her, he loses his caste and obtains her caste. So there is all these descriptions. Why? Maybe if we have questions, we can definitely discuss further. So Manu also talks about the respect and adornment due to every woman, announcing that the family or community where women are not honored will be destroyed in the short term. Yes, he defines those type of marriages in which the bride's father, the girl's father approves gift from the groom. Yeah. So this is also is coming that what is this called? Rupa? Not dowry, the other one. Kanya Shulkam. Yes.
Yeah, Kanyasulka.
Kanya Shulkam. So he says he defines those types of marriages in which the bride's father approves uh, gifts from the groom. While he praises fathers who adorn their daughters with fine clothes and jewelry, he makes no mention of dowry as he similarly places sons, husbands, and Manusmriti also mentions that the marriage cannot be dissolved later by a man or a woman. Still, it allows them to get out of an abusive or fraudulent marriage and allows them to remarry in the case where the husband has abandoned the wife or is missing. In fact, I'm just reading a summary here. If one wants, I have the chapter where there is all these verses which are translated verbatim. One can read that to know why. I mean, I think there is not much description about why. Yeah. So, and then then goes further. Moreover, the age of women and men for marriage are established in Manusmriti by Manu. And now don't be scared. This is said a 30 years age man has to marry a 12-year-old girl. Uh, Nonetheless, Manu also offered a clause to get married at lower age in some circumstances. If a man's responsibilities are otherwise impeded, he will be able to marry earlier. Hmm. And then, according to Manusmriti, girls should be married before reaching puberty. For the father, a daughter is just a commodity equal to livestock or land and can be gifted. Sampradana. Manu also provided a clause mentioned that a girl under 8 of age could be married as well. Hmm. Of course, then because of exploitation, after certain time where traditions were just thought of like a uh, abusive, yeah, that's why then the new results have come that certain age should be this much minimum, that much, and all these things. And now we come to the types of marriages. One is called Brahma marriage, where Manusmriti has given in the form of marriage great importance, which means the bride is decorated with jewelry and fine clothes by her father. And here the father gives his daughter to a man chosen by him who is learned in the Vedas. This is the best. So it is that the father of the girl chooses the suitable husband for his daughter and gives him. And in this process, I think it's yeah, yes. In this process, this is what is actually called Kanyadan, where the father is actually giving the girl or the bride with all nice clothing and ornaments, etc. And so this is not dowry, and this is the right way through which one can be freed from so many uh, mm, impious what do you call impiety, huh? Not whatever he would have done by this Kanyadana, he will accrue great wealth of piety. But then there is the next one, which is Daiva mm, Vivaha. Mm. This form of marriage is as per the right of the gods. Unlike Brahman, in this type of marriage, the father gives his daughter to a priest as a sacrificial fee for solemnizing in the sacrifice performed by the bride's father. So, what is happening is the father is not directly giving his daughter, but actually he's saying he is just giving, the priest is doing everything, and as a fee, yeah, what is the father doing is he is saying, okay, I'm handing over my daughter to you, and you are going to get her married. This type of marriage is believed inferior to the wedding of Brahma because the father derives an advantage from using her daughter as a sacrifice in Daiva, and also because it is deemed humiliating for women to go looking for a groom. Hmm. So, as per Manu, the son born from a wife married according to Daiva rituals liberate 7 of their descendants and ancestors. Now you're hearing the still what is happening. The son born from a wife in the Daiva Vivaha, then still according to Daiva rituals, liberates 7 of their descendants and ancestors. And then there is next marriage which is called Arsha. Arsha marriage means this form of marriage provides for marriage with Rishi or sages. In Arsha, the bridegroom's father, the boy's father, gives 2 bulls or cows to the bride's father. Hmm. As per Manu, the son born from a wife married per Arsha's ritual liberates 3 of their descendants and ancestors. And then there is this Prajapatya Vivaha, next one. In this form of marriage, there is no Kanyadan or trading. And here a suitable groom is searched by the bride's father. The bride suitable. As per Manu, the son born from a wife married according to Prajapatya uh, liberates 6 of their descendants and ancestors. Now comes Asura. Asura Vivaha, then there is this Gandharva Vivaha, Rakshasa Vivaha, Paisacha Vivaha. These are the different kinds of marriages possible. Then comes Prajapatya. Prajapatya, I told already. Then comes Asura. In this form of marriage, the bride and the bride's fathers takes all the wealth. Remembering who is taking the wealth? Bride, and bride's father takes all the wealth that bridegroom can provide in exchange for the daughter. The father of the girl should not accept the offer according to Manusmriti, even at the lowest price. The father of the girl should not accept the offer, though who is giving the mm, mm, even if the even if the boy's side they are giving everything, the girl's side should not accept anything, even at the lowest price. Then comes Gandharva Vivaha. In this form of marriage, a woman is seduced by a man, and by the virtue of pure lust, mutual agreements arises. The parents' approval does not matter. This is Gandharva Vivaha. Maybe sometime we may call love marriage is something that may fall here. But it's a vice versa. Manusmriti says a woman is seduced by a man. It can also be vice versa. Then Rakshasa Vivaha. In this form, the marriage is performed by kidnapping the bride by the murderer or assaulter of her father or family members. So this is the Vivaha. In this form, the marriage is performed definitely kidnapping the bride, by kidnapping the bride by the murderer of her father. Whoever has killed her father, and if he is later taking away the daughter of the killed person, then that is called a Rakshasa Vivaha. And now comes the last. I don't know, you might think, why are you discussing all these things? Paisacha Vivaha, in this form of marriage, when the girl is either asleep, drunk, or mentally disordered, often at night, a man seduces women, and uh, out of shame of such an activity, the girl and her parents agree to marry the man. So because she is abused, sexually abused in that case, and because now, as a matter of respect and compromise of the girl and her parents is that, oh, let me get my daughter married to such a person, that is Paisacha Vivaha. Okay. So saying so, Manusmriti is also saying the rules to be followed by a married. Yeah, then I'll then go back to the main Bhagavatam reference. So here it says about day and night, a husband's responsibility is to protect his wife and honor her individuality, while a wife is responsible for preserving home's peace and happiness. Uh, then the husband and wife's everlasting bond of marriage must be accepted, and the internal problems must never be taken away from their home. Uh, the husband and wife must also ensure that the integrity of each other's family is upheld. No matter how insignificant they tend to be, a wife should be especially guarded against evil leanings. A woman's sorrow is doomed by the members of a family. Regardless of religion, caste, creed, and skin color, a man must protect his wife from external difficulties, and a wife must ensure peaceful ongoing of their eternal bond. A husband who casually protects, sorry, a husband who cautiously protects his wife ensures that his progeny, his family's righteous demeanor is pure. The husband and wife must ensure their offspring's procreation. A wife must take care of her family and her husband and let him be loved and cared for by his wife if he gives birth to a son. She has to carry out her duties and direct her daughter in law towards the path. She must not interrupt the pattern in any way. Note that husband is a woman's son as well. Anyway, this is further explained. Um, Under any conditions or intention, husband should not forcibly bind his wife in a marriage or protect her without her wishes. And a wife must not forcefully pursue love and compassion. So all these things are there, and yeah, then there is this further together. Husband and wife, the happiness and well-being of these people must be kept in strict order. Themselves, their children, their parents, their families, their neighbors. Even if the person is his brother and father, a friend, or a neighbor, a husband must not ignore his wife's intuitions or warnings about a man other than himself. Oh, I'm just looking.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah. Just let me finish three more points and then we come
Okay.
to more. I'm just filtering out something which we don't, it's not relevant here. Um, and under no circumstances such shall a husband, yeah, okay. Under no circumstances shall a husband betray his wife's faith, love, and honor for another woman, for it will bring disgrace to himself, to his family, and the wrath of God in the afterlife. A wife should never think about anyone other than her husband, nor must the peace and prosperity of a family be threatened. A husband should not be in company of evil people, linger continuously with embryonic state, be involved in gambling, travel longer than usual, and interfere with other husband and wife relationships. This will cause him, his family, humiliation and disrespect, and peace will not be his comrade. A wife must not be easily swayed by her kin. This is another important, a wife must not be easily swayed by her kin. Under the influence of misunderstanding, she must not drink spiritual liquor, associate with evil people, and not split from her husband. Together, a husband and wife must keep the love of their relationship intact and must not stray into others. The husband must ensure that his wife's desire is satisfied, and a wife must respond to the love of her husband. If a husband and wife are destitute of knowledge and reverence for Vedic text and rituals, impure souls are retained, regardless of their wealth and abundance, rank and age. No puja or yajna for the sanctity of their home, in the absence of either husband or wife, is ever considered complete. And I complete it here. Okay, thank you for listening. I just shared when as a information. Yeah, sometimes some background can help us to solve the problems of the day where we are with rather than just speculating or interpreting. Okay, Mataji, let's see what I can answer.
Um, the question is about Bhima marrying Hidimba.
Mm-hmm.
How can it be related in this context, Prabhuji? It's just
Mm-hmm.
to this came in my mind when we were.
Okay, so when you have asked, can you tell who is Hidimba?
Hidimba was the one living in caves. Like I don't know what was
Mm-hmm.
their caste or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and anyone
she
else
was not
knows?
Kshatriya. She was not Kshatriya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can someone else tell who was Hidimba?
If I'm correct, they were like the Rakshasas of
Yeah,
category.
but she was a nice Rakshasa,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
because she had born, but she had not these qualities. And because of that, there was this possibility, I mean, yeah, that this falls into a way of Gandharva Vivah. Yeah. And in that case, if you see, the Bhima didn't had his mother, right? Yeah, when the marriage. And I'm trying to recollect Hidimbi. No, I think we are talking about Hidimbi rather than Hidimba. Hidimba is the brother and Hidimbi is the girl.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's why I was
Thank you.
trying to ask someone. If someone knows, then I can correct myself. But Hidimbi is the girl and Hidimba is the brother. And
Yes.
Hidimba was causing, yeah, he was a thief. He was all kind of
Man
these
eater
things.
kind.
Yeah,
I think he was like a man eater.
yeah, cannibal. Yeah, and yeah, but because she had the qualities which were suitable for to be married, that's why Bhima. And of course, there is also more to it. Yeah, even she was good, but also she was enthusing, and that's how they wanted to marry each other. Yeah, so yeah, and now coming back to Rakshasa, it's not that that was a Rakshasa Vivaha, if that was your question. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, it was more of yeah. One is coming. If you can see here, it is called Anulomaja. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Anulomaja. Here we can see uh, higher class is marrying a lower, and that is approved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Bhima was a Brahmana, then it wouldn't have been accepted because Brahmana cannot. But being Kshatriya, that is possible.
Okay.
My understanding again, I'm just trying. I mean, I never came across something about this,
Mm.
but when we put that into this framework, what we heard,
Mm.
then it makes sense to be called into that. Give me
Okay.
1 second. Okay, so other questions, or what is the summary after hearing all these things? Do we have a good opinion, bad opinion about the father who Manu, who has written everything, told about this? Because why this has to be written about the intermarriages and lower caste, upper caste is why? Because human is given uh, uh, independence. Yeah, independence in a sense that he has this what do we call freedom. Yeah, just like a what he uh, yeah, what he does decides his destiny. So, which means if he is doing good, he goes to a higher planet. If he does bad, he goes to lower planets. He may maintain him on the level of yeah, Burloka, and also if one becomes a devotee, then he can get out of. So all this is such a powerful position that a human has. So when one has so much freedom, then there is also a chance of misusing such a freedom or m- mixing up, and that's why we have this what do you call this, inter marriages and different castes. And then of course one will logically already say, you know what, yes, Pratilomaja doesn't make sense or Anulam makes sense. It doesn't matter for our consciousness with our examples if we can think this is right or wrong. Yeah, but definitely we should understand in the context of, okay, what is the purpose of marriage? The purpose of marriage is not to enjoy. In the purport of 30, in the 30 years. So in the Antyajas, there are these Anulom and Pratilom. We are not talking about Anulom means what is that? Pranayama.
Anulom
No.
Vilom.
Yeah. Anulom Vilom technique. There is also this process Anulom Vilom. If we understand, what is one doing? Anulom Vilom. One is closing the nose and inhaling and exhaling, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So one is
Yes.
accepting and rejecting, accepting and rejecting. In other things, there is only forceful rejection. Anulom, there is a acceptance and then rejection, isn't it? What was that other Bhastrika and all other things? Yeah, you are forcefully exhaling. Kapalabhati, even intensely. And anyway, so here we are talking about this kind of intermarriages. What is the position of that in today's society? If we see, a lot of marriages are intermarriages, or first of all, mm, Kalau Shudraha. In Kali Yuga, everyone is Shudra. This is already clear. So, but even from the Shudra class, one is still falling down, which means we are talking about people who are not coming even into the four classes of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and they are called Antyaja. In one way, all of us can be called as Antyajas. I'm really sorry to tell that. Unless we have become a qualified Brahmana, unless we have become a qualified Kshatriya, qualified Vaishya, and qualified even Shudra. Otherwise, one can be called as lower than that. Okay, maybe in that there are some who are responsible. They may be still be called as Shudras, hmm, and because they are loyal to their duties. If one is a blacksmith, he is a blacksmith. If one is a goldsmith, he is a goldsmith, and whatnot. All these things, the different professions. One is really, it's not that he can't make any other things, but he thinks, this is the way I have to do, and one is like that. But then there is also today, because of globalization, advancement, and opportunities available to everyone, why not everyone can become everything, and the spirit has made a possibility among the lower class, then intermarriage and is possible. uh, but in the purport there is a last line which says, among people of lower classes, uh, intermarriage and drinking of wine are allowed, for these people do not recognize such conduct as sinful among themselves. So we sometimes see, okay, even in marriages we see meat and wine are served, and why? Because they think, oh, there is no need of not there is no need of following a high class quality life. What is that? Where will one go? And because the intelligence is not matured, just like if someone is has drunk, and if you tell, no, this is this way you go home, this way you go to hell, he doesn't understand. He understands nothing because he's already intoxicated. So one who is not matured, and then these things are are allowed, for these people do not recognize such conduct as sinful. So the Lord, for this lower class of men, he is not so strict to punish heavily for these kind of things. If one is having this intermarriage, okay, fine, okay, drinking, okay, fine. But if one is the same thing is done by higher classes, then he is more strictly punished. And the point here, we are running out of time. And then here is saying, the verse number 31, it says, yuge yuge nunam dharmo yuge yuge. So according to that age, the time and age, the Vedic experts in Vedas, these duties are prescribed. So what is that? That okay, but if the men of lower class are accustomed to stealing, drinking, and illicit sex, but that is not considered sinful. Okay, what can we do? They are not matured. Okay, fine. For example, if a tiger kills a man, this is not sinful, but if a man kills another man, that is considered more strict. What is a daily affair among the animals is a sinful act in human society. Thus, according to the symptoms of higher and lower sections of society, there are different varieties of occupational duties. So now, coming back to these different combinations of marriages, so the different, where is it closed somewhere? Mhm. Um, so different classes of marriages is um, telling, and we may think, hey, we can challenge this Manusmriti book in 2026, in 21st century, how relevant it is. Anyone has this partially exposes the notion of pratilom. Anulom means a marriage between a higher caste man and a lower caste woman. Why the hell we are talking about higher class and lower class, and why are we discriminating different kinds of marriages? Does anyone has this question? Shouldn't it be that all are to be treated equally? Hmm? No one has this question.
Prabhuji, all are Shudra, so why we need to discriminate in this age?
Hmm. Yeah, but again in the Shudras we still just now related, right? Antyajas we are talking only after Shudras only, right? So the discrimination what Manusmriti says is about Antyajas only, na? Anuloma and Pratiloma and all these things. Is still, yeah, one who is mixing, and there is this, okay, yeah. So there is this four sections or four classifications, and intermingling of that is what is discussed. And at the same time, even within Shudras, there are also this fifth class people who don't follow even that. Yeah. Mm, so as what you were saying that okay, in Kali Yuga everyone is Shudra, then there is no. Does it mean that everyone can just marry anyone? And then there is no question of even classification, right? If everyone is Shudra, there is no intercaste at all. Then the whole problem is solved. Then what is the relevance of Manusmriti then? So is Manusmriti then outdated for our situation?
Today's world, like relationships are happening even without marriage, no, Prabhuji. I mean, this whole context is not even coming into picture. Like,
At least not 100%, but some percentage still is there, right?
yeah,
So people are still marrying.
yeah.
Mhm. Maybe, as you said, in future, the relevance of this is gone, or the definition of marriage itself will be something like okay, agreement, not a proper Agni uh, uh, sanskar where in front of the fire everyone is committing, or in the courtroom. But at least maybe like Gandharva Vivaha, yeah, I think we both are in love. Let's accept this as marriage. Yeah, and they may even go to the extent that, oh, let's not even accept this as marriage. Why? Because marriage is a bondage. Oh, no, let's live together. But in one way or the other, it is still an act of man and woman living together. Yeah, is uh, has its consequences, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. I mean, definitely this is a very important consideration. What will happen to Manusmriti? The phone is what happened to Manusmriti? Eventually, already we are slipping so far from. Oh, are they really caste? Yeah, maybe we are talking only in India, right? There is this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and also then there is a scheduled castes, and all this caste system is bro. Why to make all these complications? Let's just not follow this at all. Huh? But the father of the universe who created, when he was telling all these things, when maybe are we saying, oh, he doesn't know, and that what he wrote in will not be suitable? I think we have to understand why why such a system is required, was required, or is required, or will be required, we should understand, is so that people who are in the same region, people who have the same culture, they go well together, and they appreciate, or they should appreciate the values of their own, because they have the common understanding. So in the olden days, yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a school student, sixth class, fifth class, I was going to a tuition teacher. She was from North India, and the other guy was from Kerala. So North and South. At the time, that was so unimaginable. Oh, can someone marry from different states? Yeah, have anyone heard this kind of interstate marriages? Not intercaste, interstate. It was seen very awkward. Huh? Interstate was considered very awkward. Now I think we are talking about international marriages is also quite normal. And yeah, why not? It's all what matters is that heart to heart connection. Um, that's what matters. When the frequencies are fine, it doesn't matter which part of the world one is. The other one is. You even know, right? What was that Kerala stories? Is that a movie called? Somewhere I read an article about Kerala files. Is it right? Kerala war? I don't know. There was something.
Yes, right. Kerala
Kerala
files,
files.
Kerala story, something. Yes.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah, or I don't know if that one was. There are also people who fall in love in Instas and Facebooks, and then that grows, and then they get married. Right? See? Hmm? Yeah, so I don't think one is looking up on a Facebook to find a husband. One is looking basically for love and fun, and eventually the other person is also yeah, whoever is emotional is exploited in this, and then after that it doesn't work and breaks. So people who think that marriage is based on this liking will is the best way, right? I think when arranged marriages were breaking, people thought arranged marriages is wrong. Arranged marriages were done based on manusmriti, right? I mean, at least as far as possible to follow guidelines that were there as a tradition, one may call, as a value, or yeah, but as per at least this was done. Then people said, no, arranged marriages are doomed to a break, destined to break. And then what about then love marriages? They didn't fly also. Love marriage also broke. And then why the reason for both of that is um, there is also an open door. The door is open, right? I think who are Shruti Mataji, you were saying, right? That um, no. Yeah, the door is open, which means the boy and girl can decide, yes, let's move on. In Germany, we see this move on is even nice. Yeah, as if like good friends before, good friends after. Only the bad friendship is during marriage. Um, so there are so many possibilities that one is going through. Why? Because the importance of marriage. Yeah, it is the responsibility of both the parties. The girl and the boy should understand, because that knowledge is not given in any of the classes, right? Neither in our school days, in college days. I doubt even if such education would have been provided, people would just make a fun of it. Just like, what is this in biology? There is a whole chapters describing about the nature of male and female and all these things. People just feel shy of, and then no. So this education about how to lead a grihastha life has to be given importance, and then all these things will be sorted out. On the other hand, if we challenge such a system and we challenge why, yeah, we only have to wait for some time to see why things will not work if they are not following this kind of um, protection mechanism. We have broken the protection mechanism, and now we are saying the whole system is not working. Well, so it is just like a dam got leaked at some place, and then we start blaming the whole dam itself is wrong. No, it's not the dam problem. It is that there is a break or a leak at some place which need to be fixed. Rather, we blame the whole dam and then we stopped using the whole dam, the protection system. Okay, now again, I'm sorry, but I think still there is some relevance before we move forward to understand this. There is a purpose why there was this either marriage within a caste or marriage within ashram, or varna rather than ashram. So there is a reason why, because people can understand each other better. Why? Because okay, if someone is doing something strange, then it's why, because you already know that according to these things, people do these things, and that's why you can understand. That's why, for example, I remember in Brahmanas there are these sections, and within the sections they say, okay, you marry only this section. Why? Because you don't accept the other way of living, so better you marry this way of living people so that you can live peacefully in harmony. Rather, you marry someone who has a different way of living, and then you have to either you have to accustom to way of others way of living, or you have to settle with, yeah, even if the boy or a girl is not good within the same section, there is a better chance of living in harmony. But eventually we may think, no, 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 that's not 100% guaranteed. Nothing is 100% guaranteed in the material world. Yeah. What is guaranteed is definitely all of us are doomed. Uh, Maybe someone is doomed after a year, 2 years, someone is doomed after 30 years, someone is doomed after 50 years. Doom itself doesn't mean that, oh, divorce is a doom. No, what I'm saying is everyone is suffering to make a best life. What is the best life? To become a devotee. And it's a very, very tough time, tough thing. And so for a better chance of harmonious life, yeah, following these as a priority can help. Of course, within this, again, now comes the next level. Now, come on, Prabhuji, what are you talking? There are these marriages. I tried my best and it didn't work. Oh, so, and then what about devotees' marriages? Even devotees, yeah, they are having their own uh, wish list. I thought devotees should really be very, very compromising or accommodating or adjusting, or no, they have that desire. They have grahastha life itself. Yeah, we can understand that. Yeah, we are putting our feet on two boats. One is how to sail smoothly in the uh, uh, married life, and how to say in the devotional life. Sorry. And these two boats, when they don't go to the same direction, then yeah, it becomes quite challenging. And after some time, there is a time to decide: is it devotional boat or is it the marriage life boat? And then one may say, oh no, I don't care. So it's too early. Some people take decisions that, oh, let's move away, move out, yeah, move out, and uh, either this or that boat. Yeah. So in the end, if one may ask, hey, in devotional life, also the marriages are not the best. So what is so special about devotees? Yeah, always these questions come. Yeah, we have to understand how to sail the boats in the right way, and that again needs proper training. Before marriages, this is what was done. If we see, one is taught about not just saying, come, let's sit. Today's Manusmriti's chapter 31, we are going to read and understand who can do what. No, it's not like that. It is about the customs. Yeah, the people use the word customs, traditions. These are already uh, uh, um, um, a way through which the same shastras are referenced and brought into. But when that is not taken place, why? Because the parents are not valued when this kind of counseling is given. Huh? Because they think, hey, you parents, you don't know what is all changing. The world is changing, and you people are still outdated. It's always the case. The parents are always a generation back to the generation of the kids, right? N minus one is not the same as n. So that's why always one is saying, oh no, you don't know. Yeah, for this generation, we should do like this. And in this way, n plus 1, n plus 2, in this way, that the world has come to this level of n plus m. No sense, yeah, and then new sense. Again, coming, sorry, I'm keep going, but I want to come back to the same point, is to tell that we are in already a complex model, and we have created enough complexity, and there is more complexity. And then one comes to a stage saying, okay, do I really have to get married? I don't know if that is a question. Sometimes some people may think, wow, my marriage doesn't work. I'm so happy now. I can be an independent, um, free. Freedom is all I have. I can do whatever I want. No, we have to still understand that freedom is always dangerous. One cannot just think, oh, I have full freedom. I can do whatever I want, or I can do what I really think is correct. Everyone is thinking from his point of view, her point of view, that I am right, but with my decisions, what is the guarantee? When, yeah, for this time, place, and circumstance, I am the best judge of my own life. Let me decide, and I will just do what I want. Still doesn't fit here. Why? Because what is the guarantee that I have understood? Do I have the experience? No, I have some bitter experience. What about the good experience that is awaiting? No. So that's why, rather than creating our own, we have to follow the Vedic way of living. That is the saving grace. That is the shelter. Even if such Vedic way of living is having its own heat, and quite a bit, yeah, still Vedic way of living is a saving grace. One has to position himself into one of the ashramas, and there is this grihastha ashram. I think next chapter is going to detail about the grihasthas, and then comes about vanaprasthas and also sannyasas, brahmacharya. So all these things will be covered, but whatever training that would have helped us to have an understand real expectation from a marriage life, we would have known already. Because we didn't know, our expectations is more enjoyment, more fun, more freedom, more value, more whatnot all. So when that doesn't happen, and this is not happening because one of the reason can be inter cultural, let's put this way, and this culture is rooted to the caste. And yeah, so one is undergoing these different challenges of the world where we are living. Yeah. So, and the next verses will summarize what should we do. Yeah, the next verses are telling 32, 33, 34. Yeah. Upyamanam muhu kshetram swayam nirviryatam yat na kalpate punah sutai utpatam bijam cha nasyati evam kamasayan chittam kamanam atisevaya virajetya yatha rajan agnivat kama bindubihi. This is what we covered, that this if an agricultural field is cultivated again and again, the power of its production decreases, and whatever seeds are sown, they are lost. Just as drops of ghee on a fire never extinguishes the fire, but flood of ghee will, similarly, overindulgence in lusty desires mitigates such desires entirely. I think the world is trying to do this to satisfy the 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 crave the craving to the extent, but it's not happening. So similarly, so I think last week we discussed exclusively because only on this verse, that's why we couldn't cover the previous ones what we covered now. But then the conclusion verse is very important, yeah, which is 35. यस्य यल् लक्षणं प्रोक्तं पुंसो वर्णाभिव्यञ्जकं यद् अन्यत्रापि दृश्येत तत् तेनैव विनिर्दिशेत्. Vinirdiset, let me see, is disha means direction. Vinir means destined. One should designate to that. This is very important. I think Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu, you are also mentioning in the similar lines. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. You're getting the point?
Yes,
Or
Prabhuji.
should I
So
repeat?
it is not like literally should not be literally taken that there are no other castes existing or
Exactly. Now you get it? Yeah.
Mm.
So when we are saying, yeah, the basis is Shudra, doesn't mean that, okay, one is born and dies in Shudra. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. So it is only born, but
Yeah.
qualities
Yeah.
are
Yes.
depend.
Qualification. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions herein, it is clearly stated by Narada Muni that one should not be accepted as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya or Shudra according to birth. For although this is going on now, it is not accepted by the Shastras. Huh? Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. Thus, the four divisions of society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, are to be ascertained according to qualities and activities. If one was born in a Brahmana family and has acquired the Brahmanical qualification, he is to be accepted as a Brahmana. Otherwise, he should be considered Brahma Bandhu. If a Shudra acquires the qualities of a Brahmana, although he was born in a Shudra family, he is not a Shudra because he has developed the quality of a Brahmana. He should be accepted as a Brahman. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant to develop these Brahmanical qualities regardless of the community in which one was born. If one develops the qualities of a Brahmana, he should be accepted as a Brahmana, and he then may be offered the order of sannyas. Unless one is qualified in terms of Brahmanical symptoms, one cannot take sannyas. In designating a person a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, birth is not the essential symptom. This understanding is very important. Here in Narada Muni strictly says that one may be accepted according to the caste of his birth if he has the corresponding qualifications, but otherwise he should not be. Huh? One who has attained the qualification of a Brahmana, regardless of where he was born, should be accepted as a Brahmana. Similarly, if one has developed the qualities of a Shudra or a Chandal, regardless of where he was born, he should be accepted in terms of those symptoms. Yeah. So, in the light of this understanding, of course, how big a revolution can one make? But at least if one can make the Brahmana class set right, because at the moment, the true Brahman class is outcasted. What outcasted means? What? Outcasted. Outcasted means is removed, right? Outcasting means what? What is the meaning?
Expelled, Prabhuji.
Expelled, correct. Yeah. Yeah. So in a way, now if Brahmanas, real Brahmanas are also there who are telling what is about spiritual knowledge, what is Vedic way of living. No, they are not given so much value. Who is given more value? Kshatriyas, the rulers or real rulers? No, they are also Shudras. So Shudras are promoting Shudras so that the Shudras can go on to live Shudra life, right? So we should, if we want to set it correct, we need to create a strong Brahman community, Brahmana culture. Again, when we say Brahman, it doesn't, we are not talking about Brahma Bandhus who is born in Brahman family, who has taken Upanayan, who is doing Sandhya Bandhan, no, we are talking about really one who has the qualities of a Brahmana, who is qualifying himself. Yeah, typically in today's world, what is happening is then, oh, you are born to a Brahmana, then okay, now you're 7 years, you're 13 years, whatever age, yeah, you get married and you get, you get Upanayan Sanskar, you become a, yeah, no. After getting that, what are we doing? Are we doing following the purpose of thread ceremony? No. So then one is not qualified. The other day there was a girl who, I mean, not a girl, a lady who was telling to me, you know what, we follow far better than Brahmanas. Brahmins in our area, they do all nonsense. No, but we do a lot of puja part. We read books. We follow far better. She wanted to impress that yeah, the Brahmanas in today's society are not well, and we are far better. So that is the qualification. That is the quality. The quality matters, and one who is qualifying themselves, they will appreciate the value of Brahman culture. And then, yeah, such people are promoted or given chance to lead a proper Brahman life. And Srila Prabhupada mentions in this purport, the Krishna consciousness movement, it's not interested only um, in all setting up everything, but if we set up the Brahman culture properly, that everyone to invoke to whatever best they can, and they can understand and appreciate and become Brahmanas, which means, yeah, in the next chapter we'll cover that more. Um, such such community can change the world in good direction, because there were no one who were doing that. That's why the Shudras were born in Shudras, dying in Shudras, maybe with different titles, so-called Brahmanas, so-called Kshatriyas, so-called Vaishyas. No. So just before we close, in the next 5 minutes, I'll summarize because I've covered too many topics, and in the end, so I'm not vouching for any kind of a marriage or no marriage. This is not the purpose here. The understanding here is there are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. Then there is this Antyajas, which are even mixed, and then intermarriage is okay. Taking wine is okay, because I mean, that's not going to elevate them anyway. But at least the result of their committing this kind of sin is not severely punished compared to other groups. This is one thing. Can this intermarriage can go on? First of all, as Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu was thinking, if everyone is Shudra, then there is no question of inter. No, because of the qualifications, one under the guidance of the spiritual master, one is qualifying himself or herself into one of these four varnas. So when one qualifies into these, I have not covered, there is so much description about what kind of boy is compatible to what kind of a girl. I mean, we didn't go through that details, but what is the use? People, can we really already, if no criterias, we are not getting married. If having all these criterias, we don't know what will happen. So, yeah, so important, yeah, as per this last verse, the last verse, what is it telling? That if one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, or described above, as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. So Manusmriti, when we put that in the line, in the lens of this Bhagavatam concluding verse of this chapter, we can understand that yes, what Manusmriti is telling about Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, not based on birth, but based on qualities. So when it is based on qualities, yeah, then the matches or the wedlocks can stay longer harmoniously. And of course, there is still a fair amount of sacrificing one's self-interest, because Grihamed life will not be happy. It's only Grihastha life which will be happy. And even in Grihastha life, if this compatibility can be maintained, then it can happen. And moreover, to come to that stage, what is currently Krishna consciousness is doing is building Brahmanas. When when there is good quality in the society, then the progeny will be good. When the progeny is good, then the society becomes good. So, in that context, we can see, I mean, this is all coming where Narad Muni is telling to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So, ideally, such a Brahmanical community, or a, what do you call this, advisory board or a council board is required at every administration level, because administration may not be able to have this first class understanding of how to live a Vedic life. So the Brahman community is the one which should guide the people in the right direction. And for that, the Brahman community itself should lead a very right way of Vedic way of living. Okay. I stop here. I hope that's what we covered also.
Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one question. You mentioned that arranged marriage is like a Devta Viva, a love marriage is like a Gandharva Viva. But sometimes we also see that it's a mixed up. So girl and boy, they they fall in love, and then but it's approved by the parents, and also they give like a kanya dan. So it's
Mhm.
like mixed. First Gandharva.
Because still, yeah, because still there is this father who is giving, yeah.
Mm.
So that's why it still falls under the Brahma Vivaha or Daiva Vivaha.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Gandharva Vivaha is something you can remember. There is this Shakuntala and Dushyanta. Hmm. The kings, yeah, of course, kings can marry anyone when they go and yeah, when they fall in love, they can marry. But again, um, we go back to the same question: is he a real Kshatriya? Hmm? Yeah, so that's why in those days, yeah, what we are talking is about the elements sometimes in which should be dealt with very high responsibility. If a brahmana is allowed to do A, B, C, D, yeah, because he's to be he understands what is the consequence of A, B, C, D conditions. It's not just because I'm a brahmana, I don't care, and then no, it doesn't work. So one has to. That's why this counseling is very important. Understanding whom to marry and why. This is also, and after marriage, how to lead life. All these things is very important. In fact, the system is so that, of course, the marriage is as per Manusmriti, that a girl can be married even when she is not yet matured, even before age of 8 or from 8, it's okay. But what used to happen is after the marriage, the girl stays back at the mother's place for some time until she matures. What happens in this time is that the parents of the girl are yeah, training her how to uh, make a home. Yeah, homemaker. That's why I mean this word comes maybe, but it's basically coming that the parents of the girl should train how to lead a proper grihastha life. Yeah. But what happens is, okay, if the girl is perfectly trained, she knows how to do that, of course. About what about the boys? Who is training the boy? The boy is already trained. If he would have gone to brahmacharya counseling, he's already trained. Okay, what is the life? What are the responsibilities? Yeah, if you are a brahmachari, what you do, and if you are a grihastha, what happens? What you should do. So this education of the girl and boy was definitely there, and not that okay, you live together, then we will tell you what you should do, what you should not do. The girl and boy are properly trained and they are coming together, and then yeah, so that's how it was maintained.
This is still, at least even 20 years ago, this kind of thing was practiced in some parts of Rajasthan, Prabhuji. I don't know if it's based on Manusmriti or not. I had friends, like they were like 6 siblings. Everyone got married at the same time. Like one was 10 or 12. The girls were like even smaller. So they were married and the girls were kept home. And after a certain age, they were sent to the husband's house. But out
Wow.
of 4 sisters, 2 or 3 marriages, they didn't survive.
Yeah. Why? Because we are exposed to a lot of nonsense around, right? So it is difficult because, as I said, education needs intelligence, right? Yeah. Just educating will not bring, because education need intelligence. That intelligence is that, okay, the purpose of marriage is what? Yeah. I think I've told once when in my marriage, I asked the pujari what he was asking us to do. After 3, 4 times, he said, "If I will tell you the meaning of what you are doing, you will not even marry." Why? Because we may have a lot of hope. Oh, marriage is a place through which we can enjoy all our dreams and all our sense enjoyment is what is the main goal. No, the purpose is to lead a very dedicated life of togetherness for a higher purpose. If one is already telling that, no one will marry, right? So one need to have the knowledge. What is the purpose of marriage? And also the knowledge, and also one should be free from this desires to enjoy more and more and more selfish interest, no, to have the focal point as my pleasure is the cause of breakups, right? If you see any relation, why it's breaking is mainly because I want it my way. Yeah, isn't it? No, what else can be a reason? No, no, no. I am compromising. I'm very, very. I don't have any expectations. Yeah, but it should be like this. No, that itself is an expectation. Yeah, but that is a very genuine expectation. Yeah, but in 21st century, what is a genuine expectation? Huh? So anyway, that can, yeah, that can lead to so many crimes happening all around the world, right? The girl kills the boy, boy kills the girl, and whatnot. Uh, Once upon a time, killing was not there. Maybe at a mind level, killing was happening, but now, yeah, the killing is going beyond.
Regarding second marriage, Prabhuji,
Mhm,
if I heard it right, it is mentioned about a man marrying second time.
mhm,
But what about a woman if the husband passed away or for some genuine reasons
mhm.
the marriage ended? Um,
Okay.
what does the Shastras tell about it?
Shastras tell that the girl should always be protected. If the girl already has a boy, yeah, or a son, I mean, who can take care of the girl, yeah, or the
Mhm.
mother, then he or she is protected. This is one thing. And if not, then there is also scriptures which tells, okay, that this is also something in Islam they follow, but there is a choice. There is a choice that the girl uh, can be married by the husband's brother. This is what Manusmriti is telling. And again, that again comes into which classification, whether it is for a Brahmanas that is approved or not. There is further details. I can share you the link to the document which is definitely addressing your question. Yeah,
Mm.
and I mean I didn't bring this up here, but generally, but then recently we came across what His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj was asked. Yeah, if the girl doesn't want to marry but only dedicate herself in Krishna consciousness, is it okay? Yeah, if maybe we can put that your question in the context of a devotee girl. Yeah,
Yeah.
so if that is the question, yeah, on special cases, if one is always getting still protection, yeah,
Mm.
This protection, definitely, we are not talking about protection of the government, protection of the police, yeah, or no, women, yeah, definitely needs protection, and of course, men also need protection. It's not like, okay, no, men doesn't need protection. The cause of men's exploitation is maybe they are not protected properly. Whereas now coming back, so to the girl, yeah, so Maharaj said, yeah, if one is so focused that they have had enough, yeah, they don't want to marry because, yeah, it will not be her way anymore. That should not be the only deciding factor. It is not just we want to, oh, I know I got exploited, I got frustrated, I don't have any more faith in marriage, let's not marry. No, no, we have to understand that one wants to dedicate his or her life in Krishna consciousness under the protection of a spiritual master, under the protection of a counselor, under protection. Some protection should be there to whom you are accountable. Yeah, when we say protection, protection doesn't mean that one is having, AK-47 and always is around you like a bodyguard. No. So accountability, one should have accountability to someone that, okay, this is also accountability in married life, right? The girl is loyal or chaste to the husband, and the husband or the boy is chaste to the wife. That is accountability both try to maintain. And that's why the boy is not exploiting or exploited. The girl is not exploiting or exploited if one values such accountability. When that is not there, then break, right? Then one becomes insecure, or the safety net is gone. Then again, there are women hunters, there are men hunters, yeah, and both are being hunted. Yeah, there are girls who throw arrows and the boys who throw arrows. In the end, there is only bloodbath. Huh? I came to know this nice word these days. So again, oh, second innings, third innings, fourth innings, I don't know, whatever we call. No, if one is understood that, yeah, the bliss is all about serving the Lord. Yes, and I can really protect myself. Yeah, because why we want the Lord to come and protect us? Yeah, Lord, we should serve the Lord. That not that Lord should serve us. So we should arrange such a safety net. As I gave, I think last week I was giving the example that how the girls sacrifice that they will not marry, but they will stay lifelong together, and they stayed. They gave their protection, accountability to each other. And then yeah, and this protection is a very important thing, and the best form of protection is yeah, always to be uh, accountable to your guru, yeah, because that way you're always on the edge, uh, uh, mm, not falling down. I'm saying on the edge of not staying calm, and which can become the cause of our fall down. We should always be on our toes. Yeah, no, not on the edge. Yeah, we should always be on our toes to engage in service. That is the accountability that we give to the guru. Always. That keeps us occupied, and that gives the protection. That gives the blessings. That gives the saving grace. Everything that comes from there. Yeah, so what we are doing in our life, we should definitely open up with such a confidential person, and under his or her guidance, one can um, can advance in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, did that answer?
Yes, Prabhuji. But even like, let's say if the devotee just wants to live as a devotee,
Mm-hmm.
but the external factors of it's a very dangerous world. So
Mm-hmm.
when the woman is alone, in a lot of way, she can be attacked.
Yeah, that's why we need protection. No?
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah. So yeah, try to find a means of protection. Either we become internally strong such a way that all these disturbances, yeah, can be managed properly. Yeah.
Mm.
So That is, of course, even if a girl and boy are married, and doesn't mean that okay, the girl is always protected unless the girl is at home, right? The moment a girl goes out into the world, just like a not only married girl, any girl who goes out is exposed to a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the world where we are living, we can make choices. Yeah, there are some who have become full-time devotees,
Mm.
who have stopped working.
Mm.
But even such women are exploited sometimes. Yeah. Why? Because the world doesn't know the greatness of such a devotee, right? Yeah, there's so much abuses that happen. Even sometimes I heard, even in Vrindavan, sometimes there are some rogues or rascals who just misbehave with the women who dedicated their life for Krishna. Yeah, we are living in a world where there is yeah, the culture and all these things are falling down, but still, yeah, we just try our best. Yeah, it's not that, oh, as soon as I become a devotee, then everyone will go away. No, even if we are full-time devotee or half-time devotee, still the world exploitation is there. That shows that the world where we are living is not the best place. Yeah, so more and more we just try to please the Lord, engage ourselves in service, whatever may happen. Yeah.
Okay. So Shastras do not recommend like the woman to marry a second time.
They do recommend, that's what I said, no?
Okay.
They do recommend because that gives the protection. That's the shelter.
Okay. But
So
in
that's why
another
we see.
context,
Hmm.
I understood that, a mother can become an enemy to the son if she finds, a new husband. A son, a man who is in debt can be an enemy to his family. Like, we learned this in another.
Chanakya teaches in
Yes,
one of that it comes.
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, when you're saying that's why there are these options. I think last week as was mentioning, one is that okay, what happens now? A widow situation if the husband at, meets a premature death. Hmm? Yeah, and then by the time if whether the child is there or not, okay, now if we're talking about the child is she already has a child, what will happen with the second marriage? Yeah, no, we are talking about yeah, then that's why the girl was married within the same family. Of course, we can't even imagine such a thing. We think, oh, how what a kind of disgusting thing this system is. Okay, and okay, now let's say there is no such uh, demand, but the girl wants to marry. Yes, the son or the child may think, hey, what is this happening? Because the care and all these things will not be the same, right? Yeah, the care given by the own blood may not be same, will not be the same from the one who is just coming. So that's why so many they don't marry. They don't go for a second marriage.
Mm.
Why? Because to avoid this complication. Because in the end, it is maturity of the person. Can he handle such situations?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether the child can understand, or the mother can, or the father can't. It's not only mother; it's also the other. So if they can, if they are in a position to um, address these situations with maturity, yeah,
Mm.
then yes, yeah, that's very important. Yeah, on one side we are saying we have to get married, but how will the people, society will think? Yeah, the reason is very clear. Yeah, the person met a premature death. Did you kill or did he kill? No. Yeah. So, yeah, then there was a system, right? In the joint family, when these things were happening, the kids were educated, like, okay, this is the reason why so and so had to marry again. Hmm?
Okay,
So,
Prabhuji.
so such a system was there, and if such a system is not there, how to build, how to get that is you need to still have connections. You still we all need to be connected. Not we means we, but all people need to be having such a framework through which such a situations can be well answered. Of course, nowadays we have all, what is this called? Pädagogische Behandlung. Uh, there are so many psychology counselings and all these things are there. What are they doing? They are just telling psychology. Those days we used to have family. In family, psychology was handled far better than these professional psychologists.
True,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Yeah. Here, I've seen that, if a couple is going through separation and things like this, automatically they are put through the psychologist things and all.
Yeah.
And what they advise is find someone else. This anybody will know. Like, they don't need a psychologist to tell this. It's
Yeah.
a bit lame also sometimes.
Yeah. It's not needed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is also is what the problem is. Yeah. Instead of training the people before marriage, we are training the people after the marriage. It's too late. And the person who is training, I don't know whether his family life is already good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't hear to any cock and bull stories, right, from anyone. Even the
Yes.
person who is counseling also, it's not how many problems he solved. That's not the
Mm.
key. Huh? Is he a role model? If he is
Yeah.
not a role model, the words may not have the same potent.
Mm. It's just like more like their job, Prabhuji. They just listen, say
Yeah,
something.
they get
Is
money.
that?
It's a career.
Yes.
Yeah. I have my own in my own there is some counselors. I know, I mean not counselors, what do you call them? What do you call them?
Psychologist.
Yeah, they have done BA
Mm.
in psychology. I don't know.
Yeah.
BSc, I think, I don't
Therapist, Prabhuji.
know. Yeah, something like that. And then you know what? They now and then put on Instagram some 1 minute reels saying, this is the problem, the society that we can solve it, all nonsense. Yeah. I'm telling the only way a problem can be solved is when one trusts the other person, whoever is counseling. Even if the person is not expert, but because of the trust, they both genuinely want to come out of the problem. That is the best model. Because we don't have such a system. Why? Because we didn't invest time in relations. That's why we invest now time in all these other support system, which the world is recognizing the more and more, right? You need, can you imagine a country without lawyers? No, come on, we need lawyers. Can you imagine a country without the psychologists? No, we need these counselors. Uh, and in the end, can we imagine a country without doctors? No, we need that, yeah, because after all, yeah, in the end, there is physical abuses, mental abuses. They need to be sorted out in all these reform reformation cells. Yeah, they
And
call concentrated cells.
to pass this knowledge to children, Prabhuji, like at least for their awareness, they should know it. Everything can't be put in
Mataji,
practice.
that's what the problem is. We should not say this as knowledge. These are values.
Okay.
Yeah, when you put them as knowledge, people still think, okay, this is some. When you put it at values, these are coming just like folk stories. Yeah, if Ramayana, do you want to have everyone now join this Ramayana, and I'm going to read through this. Let's read this together. No,
Mm.
right now what we are doing now, we are discussing some subject matter, right?
Yes.
For 1 hour, can we just do that and that's it? All the problems are solved. We can't expect that
Put it
knowledge can.
in.
No, we should have the faith. Yeah,
Yeah.
I should have faith in you. You should have faith in me. Yeah, we need
Mm.
to have good relationship, trust relationship. Then this will
Yes.
work.
Mm. But
So
in
because
today's
we.
world,
Hmm,
like when children are also, I mean, we are also exposed, like we're seeing so many things in society. we were talking about like the marriages and things like this. But in society, what's happening is about like living relationships, same gender marriages. There's also something like gender fluidity. I don't know if you know about it.
I don't
So
know, but
in this kind like gender fluidity is where a person wants to be one day man, next day feels like woman, then next day they dress up like woman, behave like woman, like this. So it was so hard for me to comprehend also when I came across something like that. How to make children understand these things.
Yeah, that's why. So we need a guide, whom one builds trust in such a guide. As I said, when such a system is there, if I'm just telling Manusmriti, I mean, none of you would just appreciate Manusmriti straight away, right? Because we will immediately think, hey, it's too far away from what is the reality. And we can see what is the context of Manusmriti. And then, I mean, one of the reasons why I have discussed all these things is also, yes, we all need to know this, so that when we know this, we can tell to 10 people and we can save 10 people. Now, when you're asking our own people, usually what happens is that if I tell to my kid, he may or may not hear, but if a teacher tells to kid, yeah, then he's in a training program and then he accepts it. The right age and right training is needed at the right time. So we need to set up such a thing rather than classes. Yeah, first build relations. Oh, you okay? We could create. I mean, the problem I sometimes feel is we create a curriculum. That curriculum becomes too much superficial. Whatever we can learn in life, yeah, if we start putting them as curriculum, people may think, oh, it's totally, someone is imposing something in us. But when people see other people, yeah, and when the right time comes, then you tell, hey, you see, this is the reason why child marriages are not encouraged. You see this is the reason why international marriages may struggle. And other person may say, hey, but there is also, but where is the faith? Yeah, I can tell my opinion, you can tell your opinion, everyone can tell their opinion, but only when acceptance is there, then one can benefit from that. It's not just knowledge we want to give, Mother. If you just give knowledge, it doesn't bring much. Yeah, maybe some thoughts here and there, and yeah, but what we need is really this acceptance through which, that is the system what we are telling about. Yeah, one should accept a guru. It's not like one should become a 30-year, 40-year, then he will start looking for a spiritual master. And no, one should have a spiritual master right from young age. Right from young age, one needs such protection and one needs such accountability. One needs such a guide. All these things are not to be thought, oh, let it come when it comes and then it comes. Yep.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
so we
Thank
need
you.
to invest time to build such a framework to our kids. So we need to invest time. We need to go. Yeah, we need to go to places and then be there, so that the kid is observing. The kid gets chance to appreciate the greatness of a person, and when that such person is speaking, then oh yeah, 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 it makes sense. Yeah, rather you ask him to read a book or you will read a book for him. Hmm.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mhm. Good. Thank you. Thank you all. And sorry for the late. I mean, these days my system is going through a lot of installations, upgrades. I don't know. And then I have also set up a new laptop. So sorry for the late. Then thank you. Have a nice evening. We'll meet at 8 o'clock with Ram Katha. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ताय गौर प्रेम। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
कृष्ण।
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.